So this is from Mr. Greenwald. MSNBC does not merely permit fabrication against Democratic Party critics, it encourages and rewards them. And I know that Malcolm Nance, the person in this photo, got into it with Glenn Greenwald on Twitter. And based on what I know about Malcolm Nance, one thing I would say to Glenn Greenwald is, Glenn, I love your work, but you should never have a battle of wits with an unarmed man. During the 2016 primary and general election campaigns, various MSNBC hosts were openly campaigning for Hillary Clinton. One of the network's programs featured Malcolm Nance, a Colin Powell Republican by his own admission, who thinks of the economy of war, knows a lot about defense because he's been doing it for 30 plus years, and just does anything he can to promote war, has gotten it wrong multiple times about Russia, has never had to backtrack or apologize for anything because he just babbles on about defense in a way that the average person can't understand. Whose background is quite sketchy, yeah, and is presented by the cable network as an intelligence expert and former intelligence officer for the U.S. Navy. On August 20th, 2016, Weekend host Joy Reid asked Nance about the supposed affinity for Russia harbored by Jill Stein supporters. In response, Nance told MSNBC viewers, Jill Stein has a show on Russia Today. You can still watch that here. She doesn't, by the way. Whatever your views might be about Stein and her third-party candidacy, there's no disputing the fact that Nance's statement was a falsehood, a fabrication, a lie. Stein did not have a show on RT, nor did she ever host a show on RT. What Nance said was made up out of a whole cloth, fabricated in order to encourage MSNBC viewers to believe that Stein, one of the candidates running against Clinton, was a paid agent of the Kremlin. Reid allowed Nance's lie to stand. The media watchdog group FAIR reportedly documented the lie. So nobody's apologized for this. Also, when the nerve agent thing happened, he said we had, without a doubt, 100% it was definitely Russia. There was no evidence that it was Russia, and now further evidence hints towards it definitely wasn't. But he said 100% without a doubt. He claimed that they were going to put stuff in airplanes. He said that they were going to try to sneak nerve gas in through airplanes, through commercial airliners. That has never happened. That has not happened. Russia has not done anything remotely resembling an attack on our borders here in the United States. To note, he said that for sure was going to happen. He said that the nerve attack in the UK was for sure Russia. There's still no evidence hinting that that's the case. There's actually evidence to the contrary. And what's he doing? He's aggressively promoting his new book. Which, by the way, he had his old book, how he talks about, there was for sure this collusion. It was for sure, I bring this up again now because I think MSNBC will never correct its lie. It has made it clear that lies designed to destroy the reputation of the Democratic Party critics are perfectly permissible. This week, I traveled to Moscow to meet Edward Snowden. The panel was moderated by RT Editor-in-Chief. Let's see. So what are we going to talk? After Noblin claimed that Russia was the victim of disinformation and fake news campaign, I responded by pointing out that while this was true, Russia is also the perpetrator of such campaigns, and that in general, the history of the Cold War has continued through today, whereby the U.S. and Russia both use the same tactics against one another, while also claiming to be the victim. That's fair. After the event, there were camera crews from numerous media outlets wanting to interview some of the panel participants. I spoke at all of them. Nance did none of that. What he did instead is exactly what he did on MSNBC to Jill Stein in 2016. In 2 tweets, he outright lied about me on purpose, telling his 420,000 Twitter followers that I am an agent of Moscow and deep in the Kremlin pocket. He further lied by saying that I helped Snowden defect and that I report to my masters in Moscow. None of Nance's statements here is an opinion. These claims are intended to be factual statements that I work for and am paid for by Russia and the Kremlin, that I aided Snowden. Thus far, this tweet has been retweeted by close to 5,000 people. This is because Nance knows that he is free to lie in this way with impunity. That's because he works for an organization, MSNBC, that masquerades as a news outlet but actively encourages its employees to lie this way about anyone who criticizes the Democratic Party. He will be celebrated inside MSNBC, not sanctioned or even told to rescind his lie. Because, just as happened with the lie he told about Jill Stein, and the lie he's told about nerve gas, and the lie he's told about commercial airliners, and the lie he told. I mean, this guy just speculates about, hey, this could happen. And he basically just makes up these for instances, and you can't really dispute it because, yes, it is technically possible. Is it possible that, someone could sneak something in on a commercial airliner? Yes, it is possible. That's not impossible. Just like it's possible I could walk out on the street and get hit by a car. It's possible that lightning could strike somebody when there's a storm happening. It's possible that you know what I mean. When you know a lot about defense because you've been doing it for 30 plus years, you can come up with all these all these scenarios that are possible. Maybe some of them are more likely than others, but they're still just this ridiculous speculation used to pound the drums for World War III. And MSNBC puts this on a pedestal. This is not your friend. This is a guy who has made his bones off the economy of war, and he thinks about that. And I know this firsthand because I was at a dinner party the guy was at before. He described himself. He said, I am a Colin Powell Republican. I'm strong on defense. That's what he said. You know what that's code for? I think in the economy of war. And I want to continue the economy of war because it's made me rich. And now I have 15 minutes in the spotlight. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.